Walk into a busy American kitchen at the end of the day, and the counter can look like a landing strip for everything the house did not finish. The problem is not that the kitchen is dirty. The problem is that the counter has become storage, inbox, charging station, pantry, medicine shelf, and drying rack all at once. In many compact Chinese kitchens, counter space is treated less like extra storage and more like working space that must stay ready. That does not mean every Chinese home is minimalist. Real families have groceries, homework, takeout bags, and busy mornings too. The useful idea is simpler. When space is limited, the counter earns its keep by staying clear enough to cut, cook, wipe, serve, and leave again. So here are 9 things many Chinese-inspired kitchens try not to leave sitting on the counter, and the American version you can test this week. This is not about shame cleaning. It is about making one surface stop arguing with you every time you cook. The rule is not a perfect empty counter. The rule is that anything without a kitchen job should leave before the next meal starts. First, paper piles, mail, receipts, school forms, and delivery flyers feel harmless. But paper turns a food surface into an inbox. A compact home cannot afford mystery stacks. The Chinese way version is a landing spot near the door, not beside the cutting board. Try a 1-minute paper rule. Touch it at the counter only long enough to move it to its real decision place. Once paper leaves, you see the next category more clearly. Objects that help once a week but occupy the counter every day. Second, rarely used appliances. A rice cooker used daily may deserve a place. A blender used twice a month probably does not. Many small kitchens sort appliances by frequency, not by price. The most expensive gadget still has to earn its square foot. Test the 7-day rule. If an appliance does not touch food this week, give it a cabinet home and reclaim the counter. The counter should make tonight's meal easier, not prove that you own every tool you ever bought. Third, the crowd of oil bottles and sauces. 1 bottle beside the stove is convenient. 6 sticky bottles become a cleaning tax. Chinese cooking can use many seasonings, but that does not require displaying every bottle all day. A tray changes the habit. The tray comes out for cooking, goes back after cooking, and takes the drips with it. If wiping around bottles is why you avoid wiping the counter, the bottles are the real mess. Fourth, loose tools. A counter full of spatulas, peelers, scissors, and random knives creates visual noise before the cooking even starts. In a small kitchen, visible tools should be the daily few, not the whole drawer standing upright in a jar. The test is simple. If you would not grab it while water is boiling, it probably does not need front row counter space. Fewer tools in sight does not mean fewer meals. It means fewer decisions before the meal. Fifth, wet dishes that never leave the counter. Drying is normal. Permanent dish parking is a different habit. Many Chinese kitchens rely on quick wash, quick dry, and quick return because the sink zone is too valuable to surrender. Try clearing the dry rack before dinner, not after. Starting with an empty rack makes cleanup feel shorter. A clear sink zone quietly tells you the kitchen can recover after the meal. Sixth, snack bags and open packages. When snacks live on the counter starts acting like a vending machine. A common small home trick is to keep food visible when it is being served, not when it is begging for attention. This is not a diet rule. It is an environment rule. Stop making the easiest food the loudest object in the room. Put packages behind one small door, and the counter can go back to being a place where meals begin. Seventh, medicine and vitamins. They often land on the counter because people want to remember them, but heat, moisture, and food prep do not mix well. The safer habit is a reminder system that is not on the food surface, a cabinet shelf, a checklist, or a phone alarm away from the stove. Chinese household wisdom often separates clean food work from everything that does not belong to the meal. If it would feel strange beside raw vegetables, it probably should not live on the counter. Eighth, the plastic bag nest. Almost every home has one, but the counter is the worst place for it to grow. Reuse is practical. Uncontained reuse becomes clutter. The Chinese way question is, where does this live when it is not being used? Give bags 1 container. When the container is full, use them, recycle them properly, or stop accepting more. A clear counter is not anti-reuse. It is pro-boundaries. Ninth, phones and charging cables. The modern counter is where recipes, messages, delivery apps, and family schedules collide. If the phone is your recipe book, give it a stand. If it is only a distraction, give it distance. The point is not old-fashioned living. It is protecting attention while knives, heat, water, and timing are in play. A side shelf can be enough. The counter does not have to host every notification. Notice what all 9 categories have in common. They are not bad objects. They are homeless objects borrowing the most expensive real estate in the kitchen. The Chinese-inspired habit is not to buy more organizers first. It is to ask what job the counter must do in the next hour. If the answer is chop vegetables, knead dough, pack lunch, pour tea, or serve dinner, the counter needs space more than decoration. This is why one empty rectangle can change the feeling of the whole kitchen. For an American home, the easiest adaptation is a counter exit plan. Paper to entry, appliances to cabinet, bottles to tray, tools to drawer, then wet dishes to cabinet, snacks to pantry, medicine to dry storage, bags to one container, and phones to a side shelf. You do not need a bigger kitchen to test this. You need fewer objects asking the same counter to be everything. Start with just one zone, the 2 feet of counter closest to your stove or cutting board. For 7 days, protect that zone before dinner. Do not clear the whole kitchen. Clear the place where dinner begins. By the 3rd day, you may notice which object keeps sneaking back. That object is not a failure. It is a clue. The counter is showing you where your home needs a decision, not where your discipline is broken. That is the practical part Americans can borrow. Use the clear surface as feedback, not as a museum display. There are exceptions. If you have mobility limits, small children, shared housing, or medical routines, convenience may matter more than visual calm. The goal is not to copy a photograph of someone else's kitchen. The goal is to make your own kitchen easier to use. After the 9 removals, the kitchen does not look empty. It looks ready. There is room to set down groceries, chop onions, make tea, pack leftovers, or just breathe before the next task. That readiness is the real luxury in a small kitchen. Keep paper piles off. Move rare appliances. Contain oil bottles. Store loose tools. Empty wet dishes. Put snacks away. Move medicine to dry storage. Give bags 1 container. Park phones and cables away from food. If that feels like too much, choose the one thing that annoys you every evening and remove only that. The first win is not a perfect kitchen. It is one meal that starts without clearing yesterday first. Tonight, take a photo of your counter before cooking, then remove only non-cooking objects and take the same photo again. Do it for 7 nights. The pattern will tell you whether your kitchen needs storage, a new habit, or one honest donation box. Which category would change your kitchen fastest? Paper, appliances, bottles, tools, dishes, snacks, medicine, bags, or phones? Tell us the one object that keeps coming back to your counter, because that is usually where the next useful habit begins. A calm counter will not solve every home problem, but it can make one ordinary kitchen feel ready, useful, and a little easier to live in.